Well, hello everyone, and we are still in the Sistine Chapel where we were in our first installment, and it's full of little secrets that your guides will not tell you, that your textbooks will not tell you, but I will tell you. Well, Pope Julius II buttonholed Michelangelo back in 1508 to do the ceiling. Michelangelo was 37 years old, and he did it. It took him 4 years. Alas, the Pope didn't get to enjoy it, because while Michelangelo was painting it, the Pope was a little too busy playing a warmonger and slaughtering the sinners and the wicked, because this particular Pope, he preferred bloodshed to forgiveness. So when the sinners or his enemies turned the other cheek, this particular Pope hit it very, very hard. And if they didn't turn the cheek, then he hit it a lot harder.
You see, I couldn't give you something mediocre, even if it's all you ask for.
It's not what Your Holiness planned.
No, I planned a ceiling. He plans a miracle. What are you waiting for? Attack!
But then he died a year after the ceiling was completed, so didn't get to enjoy it at all. Meanwhile, fast forward 3 popes, and Rome itself is found to be the sinner, very wicked. And this enormous army crosses the Alps, attacks the city, and sacks it badly. I mean, think carnage. In the mind of Christendom, that was the end of the world. Rome had not been sacked for 1,000 years, over 1,000 years. Bad news. So, when Michelangelo comes back to the Sistine Chapel, he is a quarter of a century older, and he's in a very, very different mood. While he was painting the ceiling, Renaissance was at its height. Human brilliance was unstoppable. Now he had seen the most horrible thing one could think about. Very different mood. And he now is in his late 60s. Big difference. And he's now asked to paint appropriately the end of the world, which is the Last Judgment. Now, in the Last Judgments, and they were depicted before Michelangelo, they'll be depicted again after Michelangelo. Ultimately, the most interesting part is hell with its sinners and the wicked, because heaven with its righteous tends to be a little monotonous. Here we have Charon, whom Michelangelo borrows from pagan antiquity, and well, why not? So here's Charon, who is just delivering a boat full of the wicked. And technically, we should really have Lucifer presiding over it all. But again, Michelangelo chooses someone from the pagan mythology to replace Lucifer, and this is King Minos. Once a cuckold king of Crete, he became one of the 3 judges of the underworld. But he was the most important judge because his was the final vote. And he sat at the beginning of the 2nd circle of hell. Here enters Dante Alighieri, the brilliant Italian poet of the early 14th century, well, late 13th, early 14th century. And he ordered hell into the 9 circles. And he also, what he did, he gave King Minos a bit of a protrusion. Well, not in the front, he was born with that one, but in the back, at the tailbone. So he gave him, well, a snake tail. And depending on how many times that snake circled King Minos's body, that's the level of hell, the level of the circle that the soul in question would descend to. And here we have him with the tail wrapped around him, the snake tail. Now, in Christianity, well, snakes were pretty much equated with women, and vice versa. Women were equated with snakes. And as a result, and thinking of the first installment of last week, the parallels sort of suggest themselves because the snake has Minus's manhood in its mouth, or should I say in her mouth, except in the temptation, the snake played more or less a cheerleader and an encourager to Eve, kind of telling her what to do, whereas now in hell, in the darkness, the intimacy of hell, this our snake decided to take matters into her own capable, mouth, and thus we have King Minos. But I mean, just look at him. He's not really enjoying it at all. I mean, here's the ultimate enjoyment, technically in physiological terms, zero. He is completely indifferent. Well, maybe there's a deeper meaning to it. Maybe that's Michelangelo's signature on the age. I mean, it is in the lower right corner. We know who the face comes from. Comes from a papal official, an official from the papal court whom Michelangelo thought was an ass, and as a result he gives him the ass's ears. But look at the body. I mean, it is a 67-year-old body. It's sagged, it's old, it's droopy, and there's this snake with his scrotum in her mouth, and he really doesn't care a bit. So maybe it's a spiritual portrait of Michelangelo. 67 at the time was a very old age. I mean, his great rival Leonardo died at 67, and Michelangelo had no idea he'd live for another, 22 years. I mean, that'd be a miracle. The man lived until about 90, which just didn't happen at the time, but it happened to him. So he probably thinks the end is near. I mean, there's the end of Rome. It had just been sacked. It's an impossibility. It's the end of the world. It's the end of him. The Renaissance is over with. There he is. And that is his signature. And even though he painted the Temptation 25 years earlier on the ceiling, and the truth was under the tree, well, perhaps the truth is still under the tree, but it's a very different truth.